It is amazing that Nikki Haley, the US ambassador to the United Nations, following in the footsteps of the invective and abuse hurled at Pakistan, which had a very strong reaction amongst the people of Pakistan, maybe not enough of a reaction amongst the politicians and leaders of Pakistan. So, getting brazen, she attacked Pakistan again, saying that she will raise the issue at the United Nations Security Council, which everyone knows is ruling the world with 3 permanent members: the United States, the United Kingdom, and France, where she will plead for sanctions against Pakistan. Well, it's no surprise from where she comes from that she would do this. But is this again the same policy or a new policy? Because let me tell you what Ashraf Ghani, the president of Pakistan, the president of Afghanistan, in his recent NBC interview has said. And I quote him as saying that the Afghan National Army will not last more than 6 months without US support, and the Afghan government will also collapse. Following on that, he also said the Taliban still controls large chunks of land in the Pakhtun belt, and the government in Kabul has so far been unable to dislodge them. In fact, he spoke of how he felt on the fact that angry protesters in the capital keep chanting death to Ashraf Ghani. Now, that is an interesting situation. He also has been told that 1 trillion has been spent in Afghanistan, which brings me back to the fact of the Afghan war. That Pakistan, if it was given 33 billion, surely in 33 billion, which I've already explained is not truthful, we cannot have taken 40% of Afghanistan or enabled 20 terrorist groups, which he has admitted, act from within Afghanistan. The fact of the matter remains, they should be asked what they did with their 1 trillion. The US seems to be chasing pennies when in fact the monies they spent in Afghanistan. Nikki Haley also raised a very interesting point. We're going to find out where the narcotics are moving from. Well, you know where they're moving from, Nikki. It's been discussed in the Security Council many years ago that it's grown the American adventure into Afghanistan, like it did in the Golden Triangle, has allowed spurious drugs and narcotics to grow in a huge area which they have not, or they claim they cannot control. You remember Colonel Oliver North, you remember what they exchanged for guns, and how the payments were made. So to say we're going to pursue the narcotics as to where they are going from, well, it'd be very easy for them to say, oh, the narcotics are also going through Pakistan. How do we know? There's a vast frontier with Central Asia. There is an even more vast frontier with Iran, and also a large frontier with Pakistan. But the objective is meant to be Pakistan. So we should anticipate this is what they're leading towards. UNSC, narcotics, if nothing else is available, and then sanctions. let me say absolutely clearly, there is a design in all this. They want to be able to bring boots on the ground in the FATA and border areas. Because once they're there, you will not be able to follow how they move through what conveyance towards your nuclear interests. So Pakistan, be warned. This is more than a just natural ploy. It's building up, and as I regrettably said yesterday, you succumbed in this recent meeting. Yes, the General John Nicholson, the commander of the US forces in Afghanistan, has said in the same program that with America's new strategy and with increased US pressure on Pakistan to cooperate, he was certain he could win Washington's longest war, which is now in its 16th year. So, in the strategy and in the mix is still Pakistan. Yet, after the abuse of Washington, the ambassador reiterated what she was trying to do with Pakistan. And I don't think this has the meetings of Assistant Secretary Wells have had the desired results in Islamabad. We should have been more wary. We should have asked them to produce in writing what they want from us. We should have then calculated the cost and then told them what we can and what we cannot do. Not just be ticked off in NBC interviews that we're going to put enormous pressure on Pakistan. Enormous pressure on Pakistan. To do what? What is it you want to do in Afghanistan? This game plan has to unfold a lot more for us to understand why are they constantly beating us with sticks to go into Afghanistan or help them in Afghanistan and then rebuke us and do more. We've lost that chant for the moment. Now it's the question of the money that was given. Well, the money that was given was supplied to you. Half of it came into supplies to you, which you consumed, and half of it was parts of various things that you wish to do in terms of either military upgrading or, as you claim, economic support, etc., etc. This is repetitious, so I'm not going into it. But if you really want our help, you should have negotiated it. And let me tell you, for those of you who don't know, it costs $400 per barrel of oil to be taken up in a plane. $400 a barrel. Whereas the international price, as you're well aware, it fluctuates from the mid-50s to a little more. And each plane is $600 an hour in the sky. Imagine if we had put in our tax tariffs and duties and customs duties. So we haven't arrived anywhere. We've had a lot of rhetoric in the National Assembly, but we have not, unfortunately, bartered the way we should have into what we should receive now. So we're still the underdogs. We still have been duly chastised, and we continue to be chastised. Well, what can I say about our leadership in the assemblies, other than the fact, for God's sakes, work it out, don't leave it pending for flyaway conversations and all sorts of, shall we say, avoidance of the subject. Thank you.